Welcome back, fans and friends. If you remember the video I did on the R390, so this was Nissan's F1, I believe it was the LM version, the Le Mans type car that they wanted to enter in, made famous by Gran Turismo, I believe the second one. And you can just see there the right-hand drive, the sports car, supercar slash we want to win this thing by Nissan. And so why I bring this up, sorry, not F1, GT1 Nissan, is because today we actually have, not recently released, but within a mentionable time, they released a two-part set. So obviously you see, then these cars are really mismatched. I believe this is a stock car of the Primera, and it's the 1994 Nissan Primera. This was the replacement for the Bluebird, aimed at the the European market. And then obviously here is the GT1 R390, as you would know, the plain one, the red one in the background there. So what I was saying earlier about this one, there was an outtake version of it, which would have been the high performance four-wheel drive version of the car. And just for today, we'll pretend that's this one, because obviously the way it looks, it is geared towards racing. It is not geared towards the everyday driving to and from work. It also has the semi-recessed wheels into the fenders, which was, I believe, the standard one was a little bit less pronounced. And then obviously here, the 390, we have some paint on it. It has had some ink done. You could just see there, Nissan 23. And it still looks nice. I'll give it that. So this is part of the car culture series. You can just see up there, Metal on Metal, Real Riders. Once again, by Mattel, which is Hot Wheels is their product. So I have a bunch of these. If I haven't seen these on the shelf, so that's why I haven't not covered it. Obviously, this one is here, and then this one coming up next video is the reason why I will not do this one. But I just remember the two here, the Corvettes, 1969, and obviously the custom Stingray Coupe is probably the generation before. So I believe this is C2. C3 was a little bit different, and that looks towards that. Anyway, here we have obviously Malaysia is not where they make. Malaysia is where they make the Matchboxes, but also some of the basic Hot Wheels. Thailand, and there's a few other places that will make their premiums. Anyway, we have RSR Belgium sponsors. There's obviously the collector's thing, Goodyear and Bridgestone for the tires, Advan, which is very commonly a Nissan collaborator for the racing teams. The cars look really nice, especially the green light ones, and Mini GT. Nissan, and there you have it for the recycling. This is obviously plastic and papers. They make up this product. So get it out of the package. And once out of the package, we have here the two-part clamshell. I believe, what was it? A very Takara Tomy and Indy GT-like. Actually, it is a lot of show. As you can see, there's lots of space to cut down on material. But anyway, for display purposes, it's perfect. Anyway, less importantly, we will start with the Primera. So this, obviously, like I said before, is the four-door replacement for the Bluebird, which Nissan had been building since, I believe, the late 60s, early 70s. Obviously, not the same version. It's evolved over time. But as you can see, it was made towards the English market. And so I'm hoping, you see, here's the thing about the performance version, because the basic versions were available left-hand drive, but this is the right-hand drive version, which I'm hoping is the outtake version. What I mean by that is, obviously, it's a little toy, you can't tell, but it was used in England for racing, and as such, had a slightly different tuned engine. I believe it was a 2-liter turbocharged engine. Which we all know that Nissan can make engines. Look at the Skylines, look at everything else that they make, the Z's nowadays. So they're quite capable of building race cars. As for stock cars, this actually does look very, except for the fact that it's 4-door. Sylvia, the like you saw there, the S14 version, and the Nissan Skyline. Obviously, those are 2-door coupe sports cars. But the top there, also the 240 SX. You can see a lot of similarities, which makes it a really good looking car in my opinion. I do enjoy the slightly boxier cars. There are also some cars, like I said, like the R390 that stand out. Obviously, you have your Lamborghinis and everything else. But anyway, here we have, we'll start with front, Hot Wheels and Nissan 68 HTC. Just so I pronounced that right. And there you have the lights are painted on. The grille is stamped and then painted underneath. We've talked about the 3D painting for the lights. Instead of inserts, that's what everybody does now, more or less. Onto the right side, which is where the driver is. And if you were wondering, if you've never seen a stock car, rally car, NASCAR, or any sort of, I want to say non-high performance racing, that is the roll cage. So if the car rolls, the roof will not cave in. It makes the car a little bit heavier, but they cut other things out. Like, for example, these cars don't have standard radios. They've cut out usually you can see in the back, there's absolutely no seating in the back of the car. So in theory, what they could just do is have these doors sealed, but they don't, in case you need to escape. And you can see there, it's been hollowed out, just reinforcements to keep the rigidity of the structure. And interestingly, on this model, you can see here that the spoiler is a pushed in piece. What I mean by that, it's not stamped. If you look at here, although this is another extreme case, it's just a one piece body. Other cars like that Audi TT from last video, the spoiler is facing a different direction, but it is simply stamped on. This is actually, in fact, a separate, I believe, plastic piece. You can just see how non-reflective it is, which is interesting. I can't remember the last time I saw a Hot Wheels with separate plastic piece for the spoiler. That is not glued on. You can see there where it goes into the indent, and there's a gap, so they've obviously fitted it in. It could be a whole piece that they just stamp inside and then melt in place. I have no idea. Probably not melt, but you know what I mean, glued in place. Anyway, onto the back is where we have, so on the left and the right side, I'm getting out of turn here, is we have HTC, Nissan, and Bridgestone. Unfortunately, there is nothing Bridgestone on the tires. Left and right side are the same. I don't see where the gas cap on this car is, considering it is built off of a civilian car. Like I said, stock car. Anyway, we'll carry on to the back, where we can clearly see into the windshield. We have there Nissan Primera. Sorry, Hot Wheels, Nissan's in the middle. There's Bridgestone, the 68 HTC, and you can just see the lights, turning indicator and brake, all colored differently. And we have special colorations just underneath here. I'm hoping that is a racing edition. I'm not quite sure. There we have wings actually painted on the back of the car. This is obviously what we remember as the Hot Wheels Flash, but it does not say Flash on it. Sorry, it does not say Hot Wheels on it. And so once again, you can just see how fuzzy the Bridgestone is on these sides of the car. This one's even worse than the other side. You can see how fuzzy the HTC is. For some unknown reason, I brought this up plenty of times before, but they don't spend as much time on their paint application, on their premiums, than they do on some of their basic lines, which is unusual, because people are paying 3-4 times probably for what this is than the basic set is. Anyway, it's not a poorly done car. I enjoy having it. Like I said, it has that middle 90s, late 90s boxy, the Nissan, I want to say performance. It does actually, if you cut that out, if you look at it like this, it does a lot look like a Skyline. R32 anyway, not 33. But it does have that similarity of appearance. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that the wheels don't go as deep into the wheel wells on the standard car as this one does. Anyway, finally, on the other side, we do have their rather recent addition. 2023 is this casting, HRR74. And there you have it. I'm hoping, like I said, because there's no, this is for the exhaust. You can see there's the muffler. Stock car racing, I believe they're not allowed to supercharge the engines, so therefore you don't have that need for usually more than one muffler. Usually, not all the time. there's limits placed and the cars are placed in their own categories. And so I can't tell you if there's differential transfer cases or anything like that. Like I said, you just assume it's whatever model you want to make it. I don't think that they would use a regular Nissan Primera for this, but who knows. Anyway, you can see there, rubber of the casing on the underside of the wheels. Otherwise, the wheels are pretty plain. And there we have it. I'm finally done with it. Because it's the reason I'm wasting a lot of time on that is because it's brand new to the collection. So I actually like the look of it. It looks a lot like Ford Sierra. And not the Escort, actually. The Escort looks a little bit different. Anyway, now we're on to the main focus of the video is this thing here. So as you can see there, it has a matte covering. It has the windshield in pretty much similar places. There you have the air inlets for the engine. 3D painted on lights. Nismo, actually, which is Nissan's racing division. And the Nissan underneath, on top of it there. Turning indicators, you have the number 23. You can see there the driver on the right side. Onto the left side, Nissan, Bridgestone, and the number 23 again. You can just see it because of the bubble design of the window. It's kind of hard to see right through it, but it is possible. It's actually even harder on the rear one. Rubber on plastic tires. And onto the back, we actually have all the lights painted. Obviously no inserts. And you can just see there. I do actually like the appearance of the matte black. I want to call it a dusty black. Gives it that textury feel. Even though it is quite smooth, it does look like it would have a texture to it. It's painted like that. Right side, same as left side. Bridgestone there. I don't know if it's clearer than on the Primera, but I believe it's about the same. We do get some details. Is it better than the other one? It's not worse. The wheels, even though they're not historically accurate, who knows? Anyway, there you have it, 2020 Mattel. So while one of them, I believe, is made in Malaysia, you can see there, the other one here is in Thailand, where they usually make their premiums. And interestingly, you see the GRX35 for the premium, and there's a GRX35 as well for the basic. P18 and T25 releases, so they're pretty much similar, but not exactly the same. They make enough changes, obviously, to have, it is a little bit heavier, not too much heavier. When you pick it up by the front of the car, you can actually notice this is significantly, feels weightier as well. But I don't believe the details are too different. So fans and friends, I don't have to keep going on. This is them side by side. One does look smaller than the other, but it just might be the angle my hands are on. Like I said, it is a Nissan focused, obviously 2-pack. I do enjoy, like I said, the Primera is what I focused on because it gives me that Sierra Cosworth look to it, which I like. That late 80s and middle 90s look to it. And the R32, R33, R34 are some of my favorite vehicles. So if I do happen to see these, you can just see there at Van, common Nissan collaborator. On the side of that S14 Silvia, 240SX, Silvia is the lower one here, S15. It looks really nice, although I do prefer the black and the red striped ones that you get from the Skylines a little bit later on. There we have it. So fans and friends, sorry for running on just a little bit, but this brings back memories of that old Gran Turismo racing days. You can just tell how old I am, but there we have it. The matte black, so I want to call it dusty black version of the car. It looks really nice. So if you do see it, go if you enjoy the R390 and or you happen to enjoy this vehicle here, the Primera Nissan from 1994, go out and get it. Anyway, this is Thomas from Toronto. Thanks for watching, and till the next one.